and all to the simple plot of the podcast where I try to explain the plots of video games as simple as I can. As always, I'm your host Cameron, and my voice sounds a little scratchy. That's just I ate before this. I had some really good food actually. So I browned up some hamburger meat, and then I mixed this queso in it, which is like queso with green chilies in it, and also I threw in jalapenos, and it was really good. And, just something quick and easy, and you can just you put it in a Tupperware and you can heat it up later. Anyway, I'm not trying to make you all hungry. You came here for video game stuff. The last couple episodes, we talked about Toby Fox games, and now I'm moving away from Toby Fox, and I'm moving into one of the greatest, in my opinion, actually, one of the greatest PlayStation games of all time, and one I grew up playing, and one I still play to this day. That being The Legend of Dragoon. I will try to explain the plot as simple as I can, and if you want to play it for yourself, I will say right now, beware of spoilers. As always, spoilers ahead. But with that, let's talk about The Legend of Dragoon. So as always, before we get into the plot of this game, let's get into the logistics, the ins and outs, the what you need to know, the information. So Legend of Dragoon was developed by SIE Japan Studio and was published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Now the SIE obviously means Sony Interactive Entertainment, but the developer was specifically their Japan studio. It came out on PS1, PS3, PSP, PS Vita, PS4, and PS5. Obviously, like PS4, PS5 had digital, but the original PS1 release, it was one of those RPGs that released on 4 different CDs. So the game was split up into like a 4-disc game, which, it kind of caught you by surprise, honestly, or at least it caught me by surprise when I first played it. Like I finished the story all the way up to a certain point on disc 1, then all of a sudden, a thing popped up on the screen that said, please insert disc 2. And when I was a kid, I didn't understand the concept. I didn't understand that with PlayStations, you could literally open it while the game was running and do something different with it. That's kind of how the game Vib Ribbon did. Vib Ribbon, obviously, it was a rhythm game, for those who don't know, but you did, you went through obstacles to, certain beats, whatever. But with Vib Ribbon, you could take the game out while it was running and put in your own music CD. So then there'd be a mode where the game would detect, there's a music CD in the PlayStation. We'll create a course specifically to that track. But anyway, that's beside the point. Let's get back to Legend of Dragoon. It released on the PS1 December 2nd, 1999. In North America, June 11th, 2000. And in Europe, January 19th, 2001. Probably the best thing that happened that year. Nothing else happened that year. No other reason to remember 2001. Moving on. It released on the PlayStation Network December 22nd, 2010 and May 1st, 2012. And I think it was off there I think it stayed on the PlayStation Network for the longest time. You could get it on PS3s. And they have it on the PlayStation Plus game catalog as a classic game, which I have on my PS5 right now. So I can literally, after this, I could literally just load it up and play Legend of Dragoon again. For those who want to know what it's about, it's an RPG. Basically, RPG, you play as you play as nondescript person, and you go on an adventure. But let's explain. Let's see. Before I get into the plot, there's some bullet points for settings that I kind of want to go over just so it's kind of understand. So as far as the setting is set on the continent of Endinus, and it consists of 4 countries: Serdio, Tiberua, Milisisiu, and Gloriano. And there's a desert-like climate with an arid climate known as the Death Frontier. Serdio is divided into the Duchy of Basil to the north and Imperial Sandora to the south due to a civil war. The village of Celis, controlled by Basil, is located in South Cyrodiil and has a temperate climate. Tiburoa, the western country, is ruled by King Zayor and princesses Emile and Lisa. Tiburoa, I'm not going to ever know how to pronounce that, has a desert climate with most people having dark skin and a celebratory culture. Basically there's a bunch of different areas. I don't think they're going to matter that much in the plot summary that I give you guys, but the final chapter begins in the Death Frontier, and it concludes at a place called the Moon That Never Sets. And the Death Frontier itself contains a Winley city, which I'll explain what those are, where Charles discusses the five... Okay, I'm not getting into the plot summary because a lot of this is like, what the hell is going on? But I'll try to kind of simplify it as I go, because, I mean, hey, that's literally the point of this podcast. So, here is the story of The Legend of Dragoon. The story begins when Dart, the protagonist, is heading home from a 5-year-long journey to pursue the Black Monster who killed his parents and destroyed his birth city, Neat. On the way, he is attacked by Fairbrand, a mantis-like dragon controlled by the Sandora, a rebel faction in the Serdian Civil War. Oh god, excuse me, like I said before, English. I ate before I did this, so excuse my bodily functions. Dart is saved by a mysterious female heroine named Rose, though they soon part ways. When he arrives at his hometown, Celis, he discovers that it has been destroyed by Sandora, and that Shauna, Dart's childhood friend, and later in the game his love interest, has been taken away. Dart sets out to rescue her. Throughout the game, he is periodically joined by people that he helps along the way. After rescuing Shauna from hell in a prison, King Albert sends the party to defend the fort city of Hoax against attacks from Sandora. Among attacking Sandora is Condor, the last survivor of a race of giants known as the Gigantos. It is in his battle with Condor that Dart first gains his ability to transform into a Dragoon spirit using the Dragoon spirit of the Red-Eyed Dragon. Condor is injured, but survives and retreats. With the fort safe, they travel to the city of Lohan. In the city, they meet a man named Lloyd, or as I like to say when I played the game, Lloyd. It's Lloyd, Dad. No, Lloyd. I named you. How did you? You're never there for me. You ruined my life. How can I ruin your life? I was never there. Lloyd is supposedly the greatest swordsman in the world. Later, they discover that he kidnapped King Elber and took the Moon Gem from him, an ancient artifact held by the royal family. The king is rescued, but Lloyd gets away with the Moon Gem. They soon discover that Lloyd is gathering other artifacts held by human kings since the days of the Winley Empire, and at the same time causing disasters in the lands that he visits. So to quickly cover what like the Winleys are, they are a race. They're kind of like fairies, but like obviously bigger than fairies, and they existed. They have a lot of importance, especially in a thing called the Dragon Campaign, which the basic of it is that it was a war that happened 11,000 years before the events of Legend of Dragoon. And it was basically people, like, you had humans who had Dragoon spirits. Now, the Dragoon spirits are literally just spirits of, like, dragons, and they form into these, like, crystals that get passed down to people. And, obviously, in this game, Dart has the Dragoon spirit of the Red-Eyed Dragon. And it's revealed that Rose also has, like, a Dragoon spirit. And then some other people in your party also get Dragoon spirits. Like Rose does, and then who's the other? I just had it here. So your party members are obviously Dart and Rose are the main two. And then you have Albert, Haschel, Maru, Condrel, and Miranda. I think out of all those, Haschel and Albert are my favorite. I talked about this in like an old podcast episode where I was talking about Legend of Dragoon, but my favorite thing about, well, overall with Legend of Dragoon is that when you're in battles, it has the basic turn-based RPG thing, but when you attack, you can also do timed button presses to do like special attacks and make your attacks more powerful. But when you do these special attacks, the character that is attacking says the name of the attack. So like Albert's main weapon is a lance, right? So one of his attacks is Harpoon. But I always thought it's so funny, like when you use that attack, like you successfully do it, and you just hear Albert yell, "Harpoon!" It's just, I don't know. I think that's what sets it apart from other RPGs. Anyway, I'll go on with more of the plot, and then I'll explain more about that later. Where was I? Since the days of Winley Empire. Oh, they soon discover that Lloyd is gathering other artifacts held by human kings since the days of the Winley Empire, and at the same time causing disasters in the lands that he visits. While the party tries to reverse Lloyd's work, Lloyd manages to obtain all 3 of the artifacts, and also manages to obtain the Dragoon spirit of the Divine Dragon, the most powerful dragon in the world. Dart and the party finally manage to defeat Lloyd, who then agrees to take them to Emperor Diaz, ancient emperor of Gloriano during the Dragon campaign. Emperor Diaz reveals several things to the party. During the height of the Winley Empire over 11,000 years ago, a creature called the Virage Embryo, also known as the God of Destruction, came to the world to end all other life. Before it could be born, the Winleys used their magical power to separate its body from its soul, making it unable to destroy them. They then cast the body into the sky, where it became the moon that never sets, and sealed it using several magic signets, one in each of the ancient Winley cities, to prevent the soul and body from reuniting. The soul of the God of Destruction was originally placed inside the crystal sphere, which was worn by the ancient Winley ruler Melbu Frama to increase his power. However, during the Dragon campaign, when the Dragoons assaulted Cadessa, the capital city of the ancient Winleys, the crystal sphere was shattered during the fight between Melbu Frama and Ziegfeld, leader of the Dragoons. Now, it should be noted that Ziegfeld is also Dart's father. Like, I'm sure I'll cover that later, but, I'm letting you guys know now. I'm letting you in on a little secret. Ever since, the soul of the God of Destruction has wandered the earth and, every 108 years, possesses the body of a human child in an attempt to return to its body. The body can be summoned if the signets are destroyed, which can be done using the immense magical power contained within the artifacts that Lloyd gathered, called the Divine Moon Objects. At this time, the human that is the soul of the human is the soul of the God of Destruction is Shauna. Dun 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 dun. Emperor Diaz then reveals himself to be Ziegfeld, Dart's father and leader of the Dragoons that fought alongside Rose in the Dragon campaign. After Zieg defeated Melbu Frama, Melbu cast a spell that both petrified him and kept Melbu's spirit alive within Zieg's body. Finally, it is revealed that Rose is the black monster that destroyed Dart's village. Dun 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 dun! In an attempt to kill the person carrying the soul of the God of Destruction. After all this is revealed, Zieg, or more accurately Melbu Frama, who is now possessing Zieg's body, takes Shauna and proceeds to destroy the remaining 3 signet spheres that seal the moon that never sets, the flesh of the God of Destruction, causing it to fall from the sky and land on the Divine Tree. He then carries her to the body of the God of Destruction so that the body will sense the presence of its soul and prepare to restore itself. Instead, Melbu Frama unites with the body himself, taking the form and power of the God of Destruction. Zieg is released from Melbu Frama's possession and aids the party in their attempt to defeat Melbu. The party defeats him, but at the cost of Rose and Zieg, who sacrificed themselves to destroy Melbu Frama. Everyone else is able to return home to live their own lives. And that's it. I hope you guys didn't get lost on that. Like I said, I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want to, ruin it for people who don't want to play who do want to play the game. I mean, I already said there were spoilers in the beginning, but I don't want to ruin it too much for people who want to experience it. But after reading the summary, I kind of realized something because I have this screenshot saved when I actually finished the game. Because the thing with the game is I never finished it as a kid, but obviously as an adult I went back and I'm like, oh, okay, let's do this and this and, finish the game. And one thing I didn't realize is that the ending screen, again, spoilers, the ending screen has the end and it has 2 of the Dragoon spirits, a red one and a purple one, and I just realized that that red one is not supposed to be Dart's Dragoon spirit, it's supposed to be Zieg's Dragoon spirit, so it shows, Zieg and Rose's Dragoon spirit. and obviously left behind, and like symbolic that they sacrificed themselves in order to basically save the world. I guess other things to say about this game, I don't know really what else to go into. The fact that like I feel like this game should have been bigger than it was because it got overshadowed. I feel like this released around the same time like Final Fantasy VII, or one of the Final Fantasies were released, and unfortunately it just got saddled with the it's a Final Fantasy copycat thing. A lot of people just thought it was just copying Final Fantasy, so they didn't really give it a chance. But I say give it a chance, god damn it. Give it a chance. Anything else? I don't know really what else to go over about this game. If there's any fun facts, I will look for them. Oh, there was a manga. About the same time the game released, a manga under the name The Legend of Dragoon manga was released. It was not released outside of Japan and hasn't been translated into English. Get on it, internet. A soundtrack. On January 21st, 2000 was a soundtrack released containing 50 tracks from the game. I've been looking everywhere for the official soundtrack and I can't find it. I did find some weird thing on YouTube that I believe is the actual soundtrack, and I found a playlist on Spotify that I believe might be the actual music. But anything besides that, I've only found like people recreating the music, which is fine. It's the same tracks, but it's like it's not the same if it's not the original. Like I can tell somebody just recreated this. Action figures. Legend of Dragoon action figures is the name of a set of 6 action figures resembling Dart, Shauna, Levitz, Rose, Lloyd, and Kondo. Where are these action figures and where can I get some? Because I need that. I need these in my life. Let's see. There's not much more to go over for Legend of Dragoon. Like I said, there's a lot to the plot and a lot more than I have time to go over here. But I would definitely say with the game, give it a chance if, you have the ability. Like if you have a PlayStation, just go ahead. It's especially if you have PlayStation Plus, you can download it for free. You can get it for free 99. Freecreditreport.com. I almost went into the whole thing, but I was scared that I wouldn't remember the whole thing, and I just looked like an idiot on the internet. Let's see. Oh, they say a man should dress up for the job he wants, so why am I dressed up like a pirate in this restaurant? It's all because some hacker stole my identity. Now I'm in here every morning. I fucked it up. I looked like an idiot. I'm gonna end this episode. I'm ready to line on my own because I'm ashamed of myself. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, or if you have any more questions that I might be able to try to answer about Legend of Dragoon, or just any other game, or if you guys want to give me suggestions on just what other games I should cover, let me know on the socials. Link is in the description, to all my socials and whatnot. I do this every Sunday, so keep the notifications on, and I appreciate any support that you guys give me. But I think with that being said, I'm gonna call this an episode. I hope you guys have a little bit better understanding of Legend of Dragoon. I don't know when we're covering next, but you know what? That's next week's problem. Until then, drink your water, do positive stuff out there, and as always, I will see you in the next one.